This is CBC Here and Now.
There's a mix of independent experience and Gen Z enthusiasm in the race to represent Humber Bay of Islands.
I'm door knocking more than anybody in this province. I'm knocking on doors. I haven't stopped knocking on doors.
Might not be a big one, but I feel like I'm the only one that can defeat Eddie.
I do think that we are in the market for change, and I think that I am a great person to be that change.
I'm Terry Roberts in Corner Brook, and I'll introduce you to the candidates coming up.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Ariana Kelland filling in for Carolyn Stokes. Well, we begin tonight in St. John's, where an early morning fire left dozens of people needing new places to live. Here and Now's Zach Gowdy reports.
People living in this apartment building on Sims Street in central St. John's raced out of their homes just after 5:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning as smoke and flames were pouring from a second floor window. The St. John's Regional Fire Department was on the scene within 6 minutes of getting the initial call, but they quickly dispatched more resources when they realized it was an apartment building that was burning. There are 11 units in this building, and 10 of those were occupied with between 3 and 6 residents each. Neighbors tell me there's lots of children living here. Fortunately, all of those folks got out safely and were bused to a temporary location on Harvey Road in downtown St. John's. The Red Cross is now helping those folks find new accommodations. Firefighters were able to knock down the flames, but as you can see, this building has sustained heavy smoke and water damage. When this scene is secure, they'll be turning it over to the RNC for an investigation into how this fire began. Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, turning now to the provincial election, voters will have plenty of choice in Humber Bay of Islands when they cast a ballot in next week's provincial election. But one thing is certain, longtime MHA Eddie Joyce won't have to worry about heavy criticism from his opponents. Here Now's Terry Roberts has this report.
Eddie Joyce has been synonymous with elected politics in this province since the late 80s. And no surprise, he's back seeking re-election as the independent candidate in Humber Bay of Islands. And as usual, he's the man to beat.
So I feel confident that I can win the district, and people see the results of having Eddie Joyce as an independent working for them.
Even his opponents speak in glowing terms about the popular incumbent.
And I have a lot of respect for him. I would say a little bit intimidated.
Either way that this shakes out, you're going to have a great representative on your hands.
Joyce turns 69 next week.
But the thing that really upsets me as a person.
He's a master of grassroots politics. 7 election victories, 5 as a Liberal.
Now I've met with Mr. Joyce. I've directed, and he's volunteered now to remove himself from caucus.
And 2 victories as an independent following his sensational fracture with the Liberals in 2018, including an easy win 4 years ago with more than 70% of the votes. But Joyce is not taking anything for granted.
I'm door knocking more than anybody in this province. I'm knocking on doors. I haven't stopped knocking on doors.
Joyce says he's determined to keep fighting for health care and housing improvements in the district. He won't say whether he has a preference about which party forms the government.
I'm for the best for the people of Humber Bay of Islands.
And he's vague when asked if this is his last campaign.
I'll let the people around me decide. They'll let you know when it's time to go.
But Joyce's Liberal opponent is a spirited woman from the small community of Johns Beach, who's overcome some serious physical challenges in her pursuit of higher education and a promising career.
I think it exhibits that I'm resilient and that I'm up to the challenge, that I have tough skin.
Parsons has cerebral palsy. Her vision is slightly impaired, but she's university educated, has worked with the government, and has even higher aspirations.
I think I have the background and the knowledge and the first-hand experience to fight for the changes that we need.
And as much as I respect and love Eddie to pieces, I think it's time for a change.
The PC candidate is from the amalgamated communities of Irishtown, Summerside. He's a father of 2 young children, turns wrenches for a living as an auto mechanic. Did the PCs a favor 4 years ago by running as the sacrificial candidate in Burgeo-Lapoile against Liberal heavyweight Andrew Parsons. Now he's facing another political titan, and he speaks with confidence.
100% guarantee that I would be able to bring back all the resources that we deserve. And I feel like we've been a little bit forgotten past couple years.
So it's age, experience, and proven electoral success versus these upstart Gen Zers, both in their mid-20s.
I saddled up to the Liberal Party because I align with their values and their beliefs.
I'm all about helping who I can help. I mean, you can ask anybody, any of my friends, anybody that knows me.
And this race is cordial.
And I'm just proud that we're discussing issues, not personalities like some districts that I know.
This is the Bay of Islands, calm and peaceful, just like the ongoing campaign to elect an MHA. Terry Roberts, CBC News, Corner Brook.
Now an NDP candidate is also on the ballot in Humber Bay of Islands. His name is Colin Glavac. He could not be reached for this story. Sticking with the election, the Liberal Party spent another day in St. John's with a focus on supporting the province's tech sector and increasing its role in national security matters. Here Now's Henrika Wilhelm reports.
Innovation, it's the name of the game here. Big ideas thought and typed up, all part of the province's tech sector, a growing industry generating billions each year.
I mean, we're bigger than the fishery.
An ongoing wave of success John Hogan wants to ride, and so he swept in with promises to help the sector grow.
We want to continue to partner with our tech sector. We want to use our ingenuity to make leaps and bounds.
On the agenda to make that happen, a provincial technology and innovation strategy to help companies and startups have better access to funding, an investment into e-learning in schools, and a vision that sees the province as a hub for national security and Arctic operations.
It's not necessarily about soldiers. I mean, this is what we need to talk to the federal government about. I think it's about economic opportunity and being a base for things like shipbuilding, ship repairs, submarines. We can see that kind of economic activity.
And those leading the sector can see that opportunity too.
Sovereignty in the North is a big thing right now. All the research that's being done at NASA Research Council, all the work that's being done on training, remote sensing. Newfoundland and Labrador have a very unique set of expertise in that. We're globally known for it, and we're recognized as having the best technology, especially specifically to ICE. That's going to be a big need for the defense industry right now.
We all know that national priorities have shifted in the past 9 months or so. And you know, there's going to be a wave of increased activity in that area, the country's activity and finances. I think here in Newfoundland and Labrador, we need to take advantage of that.
And they say today's promises were a step in the right direction.
Just even the presence to be here in the middle of the campaign, to put a spotlight on it, to say that there's a commitment to it, that matters, because it's all about momentum, and obviously there's a lot of momentum in the sector right now.
Any support is helpful, and we were very pleased to hear the topics that are important to us, like support to defense, accelerated timeline, promoting the tech sector largely, and reviewing the funding agreements and supports to tech companies is very positive.
While the Liberal announcement provided the tech leaders here with a sense of optimism, voters headed to the advance polls Tuesday still haven't been provided the party's fully costed platform. That's something that Hogan said would be released ahead of Wednesday's leaders' debate. Henrika Wilhelm, CBC News, St. John's.
Both the Tories and PCs also stayed in St. John's today, with Tony Wakeham focusing on skilled trades in schools, while Jim Dinn reiterated his issue with political corporate donations.
At this point, the Liberals should dress his bus up, I figure, with logos and sponsors, and enter it into maybe a NASCAR bus race. Now, I know it can be difficult for the Liberals to remember all of their corporate donors and sponsors, so we made them a website, and it's whopaidforthebus.ca. And check it out, and you'll find out who the sponsors are.
What we want to do is bring back the skilled trades worker program into the high schools. We had it before, and it's worked very effectively in other provinces. When we start to look at this, and how do we get people interested? So offering the skilled trades, we know we have skilled trades shortage of workers, so let's start in high school for kids that may be interested in pursuing those programs.
Well, they are called when fire threatens homes and lives, often putting themselves at risk. But what happens when firefighters show up to a scene and not all of their equipment works? Tonight, we bring you details about what happened when fire broke out in a Paradise neighborhood this summer. Panic in Paradise. This video from the scene shows the chaos and intensity as fire breaks out at a home on this otherwise quiet street and threatens neighboring property.
Oh my God, it was horrible. And the crowds had gathered then, and it was like a chaotic scene.
When all was said and done, the video shows what was left. One home and truck were destroyed. Another property was severely damaged. Members of the St. John's Regional Fire Department got the fire out, but this incident report shows that it wasn't without issues. Firefighters came and wanted to use firefighting foam to put the blaze out, but that's when not one, not two, but 3 foam systems failed on 3 fire engines. Foam was very much needed at this fire due to what was burning in the garage and the failure of the gas tank on the pickup truck that was on fire in the driveway, the report said.
For a foam system not to work in 3 trucks, you're saying, at the same time, at the same incident, that's extremely unlikely. It's rare. I've never heard tell of it. Scott Tilley is a private fire consultant who retired from St. John's Regional Fire Department after 36 years of service. He says firefighting foam is an important tool, especially in cases where fuel is involved, and is far more effective than water alone. Your foam is there for a reason. It's, firefighter safety, it's protecting your property, it's doing less damage.
And it's not the first time something like this has happened. Months earlier, firefighters were called to the Paradise Town Depot. They faced heavy smoke and visible flames under a dump truck. Crews laid a 1 3/4 line to attack the flame. However, the engine had no foam, so it was difficult to extinguish. Engine 8's foam system didn't work, not in this fire or the one months later on Willow Drive. And that, Tilley says, is an issue.
Then it's a concern for them fellas. Well, why isn't that not working, What else is not going to work?
In this particular instance, foam wasn't available to them when they arrived, so they switched to water, which is what we've used for centuries.
Sherry Colford says foam is not a necessity and that not all fire departments have it.
Things fail, and this was not a catastrophic fail. This was just a failure, and the mechanics dealt with it. In cases like this, I think it's really important to understand that these are complex machines. They have, pumping systems that can be complex. They roll on about 55 to 6,000 calls a year.
But the fire chief says she did realize something wasn't right with the division that maintains the department's fleet. So last year, she requested an audit.
I think an audit is not a sign of a failure. I think it's proactive. It takes accountability and responsibility to ensure that if you feel there are gaps, then you identify them quickly, and then you start to roll out best practices to make sure to have a robust system.
The internal audit was released last fall. The audit doesn't mention fire foam, but found some processes were ineffective and inefficient. Preventative maintenance was falling short, and the fleet was old. A staff of just 3 overseeing a fleet of 50 vehicles.
We have since started putting in really the majority of the recommendations. Some were quick, some are going to take a little bit of time.
That includes hiring more staff and restructuring the division to ensure firefighters have what is required to do the job. Ariana Kelland, CBC News, Paradise.
A migrant worker living in this province is fighting to get thousands of dollars back from the lawyer he paid to help him settle.
The advertisements are not real. Truth is, he's just trying to fool people.
This is workplace exploitation and abuse.
I'm Abby Cole, and all that story coming up.
Today is advance polling day for the provincial election. Elections NL opened advance polls for 12 hours. Voters can still cast their early ballots until 8 o'clock tonight on the island, 7:30 in most of Labrador. The Elections NL website can direct voters to where they need to go on Election Day. Welcome back to Here and Now. A migrant worker living in this province says he was swindled out of tens of thousands of dollars by an Ontario-based immigration lawyer. He says he was promised a job and permanent residency, but received neither. And immigration experts say the lawyer's practices are unethical and even abusive. The CBC's Abby Cole has that story.
Dattatreya Avhad moved to Canada from India with hopes of working as a cook and living with his wife and children. He paid an immigration lawyer over $24,000 to help him get a kitchen job and a permanent residency. Instead, he is now picking up shifts as a cab driver, has no clear path towards living in Canada permanently, and he's fighting to get his money back.
When I approached Amardeep Singh, he said he will help me to get my family here, and based on that, his promises, I paid him $24,000 for this work, but he breached the contracts.
Avhad hired lawyer Amardeep Singh, who's based in Mississauga, Ontario. Singh holds high-level positions under 3 entities, working both in legal services and job recruitment. In Singh's social media ads, he promises available kitchen jobs and immigration to Canada in 6 to 12 months.
The advertisements are not real, like he has so many advertisements, but he's just trying to get more and more people. Truth is, he's just trying to fool people through this advertisement.
6 months after Avhad first paid Singh, he got a job at Shenanigans Bar and Grill in CBS on a closed work permit that only allowed him to work there. CBC reviewed Avhad's employment contract. It promises $16 an hour, but Avhad's pay stub says he was paid $15.60. After about a month on the job, Avhad says he got an unexpected call from Singh.
The employer does not want you any longer, and if you need any other job, if you want me to find another job, then you need to pay another additional $10,000.
He was out of work and then out of a place to live. Avhad says he was evicted from his apartment, which he was renting from the restaurant owner.
No one can accept that kind of treatment in a foreign land. So someone who has paid a lot, huge money for the services, and that person is not providing services. That point of time, I was literally homeless.
CBC contacted lawyer Amardeep Singh, but since Avhad has a complaint against him that's being investigated by the Ontario Law Society, he said he couldn't comment. We also contacted Shenanigans owner Luke Vio. In an emailed response, he says Avhad was terminated due to misrepresentation and that he lacked experience as a cook. He also said that Avhad was evicted for not paying rent, but Avhad said that he couldn't pay rent because his work permit only allowed him to work for VO. We sent follow-up emails, but VO stopped responding. In the meantime, Avhad is still fighting for a refund.
It sounds as though there's money owed to him.
Immigration lawyer Megan Felt says usually lawyers bill their clients for services as they happen instead of asking them to pay up front.
Once we file the permanent residency application on your behalf, that's when you pay, the majority of it.
She says it's unusual for lawyers to provide both legal and recruitment services and says it can be unethical to combine the services.
This is workplace exploitation and abuse, and the workers need repatriation and compensation for the harm and suffering they have faced.
Avhad sought help from the Migrant Workers Alliance for Change. Executive Director Saeed Hassan says paying for a job is illegal in Ontario, where Singh is based, but not explicitly outlined in Newfoundland and Labrador's Labour Standards Act.
So what needs to happen is that the province in Newfoundland and in Ontario need to work together to get this worker the money that he deserves. At the same time, the federal government must grant him permanent resident status because he was exploited and abused and he's a whistleblower.
For now, Avhad's complaint against Singh is being investigated by the Ontario Law Society, and Avhad has been granted a vulnerable workers permit, but that kind of permit won't last forever, and he may have to leave the country. He just hopes he won't leave empty-handed. Abby Cole, CBC News, Conception Bay South.
Hear from party leaders before you cast your vote. The Newfoundland and Labrador Leaders Debate is on Wednesday, October 8th. It'll be 90 minutes, commercial-free, broadcasting live from CBC St. John's. Join me, Carolyn Stokes, and journalists from NTV, The Telegram, and VOCM as we ask party leaders about the issues that matter most to you. Find it on CBC TV, CBC Radio 1, or anywhere you stream CBC News, 7 p.m. in Newfoundland, 6:30 in most of Labrador.
Well, it was a warm one out there today, Ashley. What did it look like around the province?
Oh, what a warm day it was yesterday. Take a look at some of these numbers across Labrador. In fact, the all-time record for October in Nain, Hopedale, Churchill Falls, and Wabush, all pretty much smashing the record, certainly in Hopedale. And that was tied both on the 8th in 1961 and also on the 11th in 1970. Today, also very warm for parts of the island, not so much for Labrador, and that's because that cold front has moved through. Much colder temperatures, and eventually this cold front will move through across the island and drop the temperatures. But we've certainly got some more sunny weather, or let's just say summer weather, to deal with. Look at this, 26 degrees in Deer Lake today, 25 in Gander, and in St. John's topped off at about 22 degrees. So that is a new record for the day, but that also brings us to the 82nd time that we've reached the 20-degree mark, and that again is a new record for 2025. So taking a look at where we should be sitting this time of year, single digits for Labrador. Now that 21 degrees in Happy Valley Goose Bay was after midnight. The temperatures have been steadily dropping through the day. But Grand Falls, Windsor, you should typically be sitting around 11 degrees, and 26 was your daytime high. So like I said, we've got a couple, well, let's say one more day of some more mild air before we see that change in the temperatures, and that's because that front will continue to move through. That's going to bring some shower activity through the overnight tonight for most of Labrador. Southeastern portions of Labrador will see that as well as we head towards the early morning hours. But for the most part, tonight across the island, just some increasing cloud. Really not a whole lot to talk about, but those mild temperatures will continue, which means the south coast will likely see some patchy, well, some fog through the overnight, where your temperatures will sit between 10 to 13 degrees, single digits for the northern peninsula, and then same thing up across Labrador. Most areas sitting somewhere between 2 and 9 degrees as your daytime highs. But Lab City, with that drop in temperatures around 2 degrees, your winds will shift to northwesterly. And that means there's also the risk that we will see some flurries in the forecast, especially tomorrow. And you can see that on the future tracker as we see that shift in the winds. But that front really taking its time. By the time we get into tomorrow, mid-afternoon, we'll be seeing some shower activity for the southeast, and then across the island, still very much in that southerly flow, which means some mild temperatures. But the day, as we get through the day and into the afternoon and evening, eventually we'll start to see some shower activity. And certainly by the time we get to the overnight and into Thursday, most of us will be dealing with that shower activity through the overnight and into early Thursday. As you can see there, some of these showers will likely be heavy at times, but yes, we'll see that drop in the temperatures because of that change in the winds. Daytime highs tomorrow will be sitting in the 20s again for central and eastern areas. It's going to be a little bit more breezy tomorrow as well. Those southwesterly winds will be gusting somewhere between 40 to as much as 50 kilometers per hour. But that southerly flow is going to keep those temperatures again a little on the cool side compared to the rest of the province, or at least the rest of the island anyway. Somewhere in the teens tomorrow for those of you along the south coast. And then again, that shower activity will move in. For Labrador, for the most part, most of the north and western portion of the island will be sitting in the single digits. We're looking at teens. The story for the southeast, that's the first part of the day. But like I said, as that front moves through, temperatures will drop. So that's a look at your forecast for tomorrow. The long range forecast showing a bit of a roller coaster in temperatures. It'll warm up again, but I'll get into that a little later.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, air services are synonymous with the town of Gander, and during a political debate in the community last night, air ambulance took center stage. The Liberal and PC candidates weighed in on that issue during a debate hosted by the local Chamber of Commerce. CBC's Troy Turner brings us more on that story.
In between candidates trading talking points on the Churchill Falls MOU, Liberal and Progressive Conservative candidates agreed on at least one issue. Gander should be home to enhanced air ambulance services.
The provincial government did not say that Gander is being excluded from air ambulance operations. There is a role for air transport for air ambulance in Gander, and government has committed to that. They've announced it.
Air ambulance has to be based out of Gander. As I've been in the tower in Gander, I've watched friends of mine get taken out on a medevac. Response times, that is what it's all about.
The NDP's candidate, Justin Foley, did not attend. According to the province, Gander will have a role in air ambulance after being left out of the Health Accord recommendations and the RFP that was eventually awarded to Medavie. In last month's announcement, the province said Gander will be in the overall plan, and a low-acuity air transport program will have resources based in the aviation town. As for specifics, it said a helicopter will be based in Gander.
If we don't see Gander as the hub for our air ambulance, then we are not taking care of those people who need the use of life-saving medical treatments in St. John's.
The province has explicitly committed that Gander will form part of the new integrated system design.
I'm not sure that what is being proposed precludes fixed-wing activity in Gander. Whether that be some component of the existing air ambulance service, or whether it be perhaps a new service that would be introduced, such as a SCEDEVAC type model where an aircraft may or may not be based in a place like Gander. So I'm not exactly sure, and we haven't really been briefed on that by government, certainly.
With promises of an Atlantic Canadian Wildfire Centre being based in Gander, provincial dispatch services, and the Canadian Forces Search and Rescue, adding more air ambulance services makes sense, says the mayor.
Let's do the right thing for the right reason and try to leave the political and corporate horse trading out of the equation, particularly when we're talking about health services.
Following the election, Mayor Percy Farwell says he hopes council will get to sit down with the new MHA and Premier, whoever they may be, to iron out specifics as to what role his town will play in air services of the future. Troy Turner, CBC News, Gander.
With the Canada Games over, the medals handed out, and the athletes long gone, the infrastructure built for the Games will be around for a while. Now, one of the largest and most expensive pieces is the Fortis Canada Games complex off Westerland Road. So what happens next with the track, soccer field, and training center? Jeremy Eaton explains.
It played a key role in the 2025 Canada Games, with men's and women's soccer being played here, as well as all the track and field events. Now, it's a part of the Newfoundland and Labrador Sports Centre.
For us, we cater to a lot of our provincial sports organizations primarily. We're the vehicle for them to operate their sports programs and to give them an opportunity to host, regional, provincial, and national events.
The NL Sports Centre is a Crown corporation, currently running a number of facilities in the Powerplex here in St. John's. Now they'll run the Fortis Canada Games complex as well.
In terms of this facility, primarily it will be provincial sports organization usage. We will have various sports groups like Memorial Athletics. Then, of course, you've got the soccer groups, all the municipal soccer groups, St. John's, Mount Pearl, CBS, municipalities like that who will also operate their programs here as well.
Unlike other gyms in the city, you just can't drop in.
We don't operate like a municipal facility or municipal recreation facility where you walk up and say, hey, can I go in and shoot some hoops and pay my $3 an hour and go do that. That's more of a recreational kind of line of business. For us, we're purely mostly about sport development and the opportunities to host, like I say, regional, provincial, and national events.
Snow says the provincial groups using it now take up almost 100% of its capacity. But for the next few months, the track is open to the public every day for a few hours for free.
We will open this up to the general public for recreational walking, running, mothers with young children, strollers, that sort of thing. That's not our typical line of business, but understanding the usage of this facility and the opportunities beyond what our normal operation would be that are presenting themselves, that's a real viable option for us.
The complex cost $34 million to build, with money coming from the city, provincial, and federal governments. It will operate on a grant from the province. Budget 2025 allocated just over $1.9 million for it. Money that covers the Fortis Canada Games complex and the Powerplex. While its main purpose is to train the next generation of athletes, it could see some more public usage in the future.
Beyond our sport development mandate, we do provide good quality recreational opportunities for non-competitive sports groups to come in and access that facility for what it's a little bit beyond its intended use, but certainly what it's absolutely suitable for.
Another question that people have been asking is, when will the Aquarena reopen? A spokesperson for Memorial University says that additional repairs are underway, stuff that was identified during the games. Now, they're still committed to reopening in the fall, but no timeline has been given. Now, as for the very popular water slides, well, work is underway to find a replacement, and that should open in 2026. Jeremy Eaton, CBC News, St. John's.
The provincial election is October 14th, and the three-party leaders are out on the campaign trail making promises, talking solutions. So on CBC Radio's The Signal, I invited voters in to talk about their top issues. Number one on the list, cost of living.
I think it's cost of living in general, because I do feel like across the years, I don't seem to have seen any growth, especially in Newfoundland and Labrador. We seem to be that province that has the lowest of everything and the most taxes, being taxed at the same time. So I kind of want to see that plan or change where it takes into account a better cost of living for everybody across the board, and, a better province really in general for everyone to want to come to and stay and not leave,
This guest had similar thoughts for her family.
Rapid topic of conversation in my family. My children are growing and thinking about their own futures and really starting to evaluate what that means for them in Newfoundland. And I think that it's the basics we need to focus on: the cost of living, access to health care, access to food sources, resources that are used on a daily basis. I think we need to shore up those basics to make sure that we have what's necessary for people to find the benefit in staying here.
Desmond Smith, who is a mental health therapist, wants to see more access in this province for mental health services.
Provincially, I think party leaders have talked about that in some pretty narrow lenses in terms of the new addiction facility, which is super helpful and important, providing clinical support for law enforcement and crisis teams, those kind of things, and then sort of the general statement of wanting to increase access across the board. There's some really interesting work being done here in the province that we can talk more about. But basically, the part of the problem is that the practice of counseling therapy here in the province is largely unregulated, and so that comes at the cost of access to folks as well.
While summer may be over, for Robin Dwyer, it still looms large. Her family lost their home in the wildfires in Conception Bay North this past summer.
Unfortunately, this wildfire season, I believe, is just the beginning of what is going to be our seasonal norm. It's been like that at West for years. It's now come to our province, so there needs to be more efforts on emergency preparedness. There needs to be more training for firefighters, more equipment for firefighters, because they're not used to this. If you're a structural firefighter, you're not used to fighting wildland fires. That's just the nature of what it is. So we need to get our fire departments up to speed with that, because, again, this is going to be the new reality. And with that, with the devastation of this summer, the government, I feel, needs to not forget that happened. I get that we're in an election time. The writ has been dropped, but when the new government is formed, they can't forget what happened on August 4th. There are still 200 plus families that are homeless, that need to rebuild, many of whom didn't have insurance for whatever reason, whether they were uninsurable or what have you, or inaffordability like we had just talked about. So there needs to be effort on the both provincial and federal side to ensure that that devastation is repaired, and that includes the school, of course.
Meanwhile, all three-party leaders will square off in a debate Wednesday, October the 8th on CBC TV and CBC Radio 1, 7 p.m. Island time. You can also catch it on our website, on our YouTube channel, and wherever you stream CBC News. Adam Walsh, CBC News, St. John's.
Some enthusiastic newcomers in St. John's took part in a long-standing Canadian legacy today. The Association for New Canadians hosted its annual Terry Fox School Run. Organizers say it's an opportunity for people new to the country to learn about Terry Fox and his connection to this province.
I used to do the Terry Fox runs as a child with my family, and I kept doing them as a youth. And when I started working here, and I heard that the Terry Fox School Runs had started, we talked and decided that this would be a really good opportunity to help the students learn about Canadian culture and get involved in the community. And it also provides some really good English practice too. So it's been a really good activity for us. We've been doing it, like I said, about 14 years. Even students with very, very low language levels could really relate to this story. They know what cancer is. They understand how difficult it is when someone you love is sick. And the idea of someone they know Canada's pretty big, and the idea of someone running across Canada, attempting to try to raise money, and everybody coming together and giving a little bit what they can, students really relate to that.
We learn a lot from the swag, and we know Terry Fox now, like who Terry Fox and what he did, and he inspired us.
Terry Fox is a big example for all people to be a good for a future, like for our kids, especially for my back home. So we are walk around here a pond, and we support.
Everybody knows someone, and I think too a lot of the students that I've worked with, they're very grateful to be in Canada, and they like to have a chance to give something back, and that's nice to see as well. We have people from all over the world. We have a lot of refugees, majority refugees, I believe, if not all. When you come to a new country, there's all kinds of things that everybody else knows about without even thinking about, and you have no idea about. So, their kids are learning about Terry Fox at school. Most Canadians know who Terry Fox was and what he did, and I think they really like that part too. And they love walking outside on a beautiful day like this.
In national news now, for the second time since becoming Prime Minister this year, Mark Carney has found himself in the White House, facing a Washington news conference sitting next to Donald Trump. The two leaders are having another session of trade talks with a hint of possible relief from the U.S. tariff onslaught.
Will Mr. Carney be leaving Washington with a deal on tariffs?
I think they're going to be very happy. We have a lot of things that we're working on.
There are areas where we compete, and it's in those areas where we have to come to an agreement that works. But there are more areas where we are stronger together, and that's what we're focused on, and we're going to get the right deal.
The Canadian delegation expects no immediate agreements, but Carney is facing domestic pressure to secure something. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says if there's no progress, Carney should retaliate, and if there is progress, he should brief the premiers. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre suggests the visit may win nothing but a photo op. Meanwhile, during that joint press conference with the Prime Minister in the Oval Office, U.S. President Donald Trump also praised Mark Carney. Here's some of that exchange.
I think he's a great Prime Minister. I mean, he could represent me anytime. I will tell you, I'm not saying that because no, he is a very strong, very good leader. He's a nice man, but he can be nasty. He can be very nasty. Maybe as nasty as anybody. How? I think Canada, let me put it this way, I can tell you this because I deal with lots of leaders all over the world. He is a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants, and I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially, and I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
So then what's holding things up? If he's a great man and you want to do a deal with Canada, why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man, too.
To get more industries to embrace renewable energy, batteries need to be stronger, lighter, and safer than lithium ion. In fact, for many industries, that's a very big bump on the road. Johanna Wagstaff looks at how Canada is trying to be one of the drivers of that innovation.
Everyone's talking about electric cars, but if Canada wants to go fully electric, we got to talk about the giants of the road, the big rigs, the buses, the trucks. The key to going fully electric? Batteries. Batteries that go farther, weigh less, and perform in the cold. Stronger, lighter, safer. Right now, the entire EV world is built on lithium-ion batteries. They've been good enough for cars, but for the big haulers, they just don't have the range, especially in cold Canadian winters. Add more power, they just get heavier, too heavy for real performance. And that's why the battery science itself has become the bottleneck. That's why we're here at one of Canada's biggest EV conferences, where industry leaders are showing off what the next generation of batteries could look like. One of the biggest breakthroughs is solid-state batteries, which swap liquid electrolytes for ceramics.
That's really where you get the weight benefit from. It lightens up because it's much more dense. It's going to be expensive. So Unfortunately, the long-haul market that wants it or needs it won't be able to access it because cost is a big factor for that market.
And then there's safety. Current lithium batteries carry fire risks, especially under heavy loads. Canadian engineers are working on new cooling systems like partial immersion designs that stop fire before they spread.
We are hearing a lot about new generation battery cells, but when you have a cell, you need to package it and you need to have the full system around it to be able to use it in a vehicle.
So we have the solutions, but the price tag keeps getting in the way. Here's the reality. Stronger, lighter, safer batteries will first show up in niche markets, high-performance vehicles, racing, even defense, before trickling into freight. Globally, China is leading the charge, but Canadian researchers are carving out a role too. They have to. Road transportation makes up about 23% of Canada's emissions, and most of that comes from commercial vehicles. If Canada wants to be fully electric, it won't be decided in the driveways. It will be decided on the highways, with stronger, lighter, safer, and cheaper batteries.
hospital.
Let's return once more now to Ashley for a look ahead.
Well, taking a look at the long-range forecast as we look ahead to Thursday, this is really when we're going to start to feel the effects of that cold front finally. Well, maybe not good news for everybody, but we will start to feel that cold front by the time we get into Thursday. So once that moves through, winds will shift in behind it. Temperatures much cooler, especially up across Labrador and eventually the west coast of the island as well. And then the shower activity will continue to move through into the evening hours on Thursday, and then eventually it'll taper to some showers. But you will notice that with that wind shift, temperatures will be very different, down to the single digits for the northern peninsula, west coast of the island, barely double digits through central, about 10 to 14. We should hang on to temperatures in the teens, mid to upper teens for the Avalon, at least for the first part of the day, but we will notice that change in the temperatures. And then up across Labrador, again, single digits the story for most of you on Thursday, but much cooler for those of you in Lab West. Again, dealing with the potential for a few flurries in the mix there as your daytime highs only top out 1 to 2 degrees as through the afternoon. As we look ahead into Friday, we'll continue to see those cooler temperatures. There's even some wet snow showing up in the higher elevations on Friday. We'll have to see how that pans out, but it's certainly going to be much cooler through the day, along with some unsettled weather through the afternoon. So you're still looking at some shower chances through the day as well. Single digits, just anywhere from 5 to 8 degrees. So this is even a little bit below where we should be sitting this time of year, but even up across Labrador between 6 to 8 degrees. Shower chances for you as well. So a little warmer in Lab West, but right around where you should be sitting. As we take a look at our long range forecast, temperatures are going to sit in the single digits on Friday. We'll rebound a little bit by the time we get into Saturday, around 13 degrees, and then dropping back down to the single digits with some shower chances by the time we get into Sunday. For central and western Newfoundland, essentially the carbon copy forecast, maybe even a little bit cooler, only about 10 or 11 degrees on Saturday, a little bit less, a little nicer, I should say, sunshine-wise on Saturday through central, but then up across Labrador, overall, you're going to be firmly into the single digits, even a little cooler in western Labrador with some shower chances pretty much right through Saturday. Taking a look at our weather photo of the day, just outside of Labrador there, beautiful fall colors. We've certainly been seeing them pop with these temperatures lately. Thank you so much for that. And if you have any weather photos you'd like to share with us, we'd love seeing them. Send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Beautiful photo. And thank you for spending part of your evening with us. Make sure to join us tomorrow evening, immediately following Here and Now, for a live leadership special from our CBC studio here in St. John's. Carolyn Stokes is our moderator. Hope you can join us. Good night.